Detective Nua Lualamaga will tell you the details of the shooting.
On April 28, 2010, at approximately 9:30 p.m., East Palo Alto Police Department had received a phone call regarding a shots fired call along the 100 block of Jasmine Way in the city of East Palo Alto. Upon arrival, officers discovered a 20-year-old Hispanic male East Palo Alto resident by the name of Gabriel Arreguin. He had suffered multiple gunshot wounds to the upper torso. Later, medical aid was summoned to his assistance. Fire department and American Medical Response paramedics had responded and rendered aid. He was later transferred to Sanford Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Currently, we do have an established motive, and we are looking into further leads.
Thank you, Detective. Jasmine Arreguin, Gabriel's sister, and Carla Valencia, Gabriel's sister-in-law, have agreed to join us to talk to us about Gabriel's life, and as well as to talk about the trauma of his death. So thank you both for coming on Make the Call. So starting with you, Jasmine, you're his sister.
Yes.
How did you find out that your brother had been shot and then killed?
It was at night. I had gotten off work. I got home, and a friend came to the house, knocked on the door, saying that he thought Gabriel got shot. Gabriel got shot. So he gave my mom a ride, and then me and my husband got in the car, and we drove to the scene.
And what happened when you got there?
And when we got to the scene, like, we couldn't really get in, so I ran out my car barefoot, and then we ran over there, but they had already taken him to the hospital.
So your brother was gone when you got there?
Yeah.
And were there still police there? A lot of people there?
Yeah, there were still police there.
And then what happened? What did you do then?
So then from there, I went back home, and I grabbed my daughter, and then they told us that they're already at the hospital. So then we drove to the hospital.
And then what?
And then so we're waiting, and then finally a doctor came out and was like, oh, that he died. So then we just, we were shocked at first, and then we just all started crying, everybody.
Was your mom there?
My mom, his friend, all his friends were at the at the hospital, just like crying, bawling out, like, why did it happen? Like, it was just shock. Like, you wouldn't think, because the day before I was with them, and we had went to go buy some cookies for my mom, and then this is like shocking that you can't believe it. You're in shock.
So one day he's there, and the next day he's just gone. And how old was your brother?
He was 20 years old.
Just 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a year younger than me.
Wow. And Carla, how did you find out?
Well, Ishmael's my husband, Gabriel's brother. Edward called Ishmael and told him, oh, Gabriel got shot. So my husband just thought, oh, it was probably like to his leg or something simple that...
Not serious.
Not serious. But he still rushed to the hospital, and I stayed home with my children. And then Ishmael called me that he was there waiting for them to come out and say stuff. But I had a bad feeling.
Really?
So I asked my grandma to watch my children, and I asked my brother to rush me over there. And I got there, and when I got there, they came out and said that he was gone.
Wow. It's horrible. So, I mean, and this is probably, a very, I think I know the answer, but I think I wanted you to tell me in your own words, what has it been like knowing that your brother-in-law was murdered?
It was, well, for me, it was shocking. It was hard. Like, when I was on the way to the hospital, like, I felt like he had asthma. So I was like I can't breathe. I was telling him, I was like, something, I was like, he's, like, I felt it. Like, I was like wheezing, and I was like, something's wrong, something's not. So it was like, I don't know, it was just hard. Like,
were you real close to your brother?
Well, yeah, he was always we were always together. Like, I would take care of him, he would take care of me. He had problems at school. I was like the brother, kind of.
Right.
So I'd like take care of him.
Right.
We were just always together in pictures. We have a lot of pictures together. We were close. He was a loving brother. He was there for me, my daughter, like.
Right. So you just mentioned pictures. There are a lot of pictures of you and your brother. We have some photos of your brother here. So why don't we take a look at some of the photos, and you tell me what's happening in that photo. You see it up there?
This is his graduation.
And
he was receiving his diploma there.
And from where?
From Terabella High School.
Wow. Wow, looks happy.
Yeah.
And I think we have another photo. And that's
Oh,
Gabriel
his
on the left.
brother. That's Fernando. And that's also at his graduation after when we
Wow.
came out.
How many brothers did Gabriel have?
It's 6 of them with him
Really?
not here.
Really? And I think there's one more.
This
another
was
one?
at the rehearsal dinner of his older brother Juan, and that's in the black. It's my husband Ishmael, his brother,
That's
and
his brother.
Jose Eduardo, the youngest of all of them.
Wow. And these are all brothers,
Yes.
right? His brothers there. And I think we have one more photo. Now, what's this?
That's the wedding of his brother. That's Juan, his older brother that got married for the rehearsal dinner that was there.
So he looks like such a nice young man and happy. I mean, what was he like? Tell me.
He was
Your
nice.
baby brother.
He worried about everybody. He worried about her, me. He took care of all of us, his nieces. Like, oh, Gabriel, take us to see the pet store. He worked at PetSmart. So he'd be like, oh, because he loved animals. He had so many animals.
Really?
Chickens, chameleons. We have
Any animal you could think
Really?
of.
he had chameleons, like
Parrots.
the pit bull we had it for so long. Parrots, which I let it out. It flew out.
Oh, nice.
On accident. It was we had every animal, like he had a godfather. Like if he has some for a pet or whatever, they'll buy for him. We had every pet, rabbits. Like, I don't know, that made him happy, like animals.
So it sounds like he's very caring. I mean,
Yeah.
he cared
Yeah.
for pets,
He
he
was
cared
very
for you all.
caring.
It's
My
everything.
mom, like every picture you see, he's always like, this was my mom.
Really?
They're always like, he loved my mom. He took care of her so much.
How's your mom doing since all this?
She's shocked. She's sad. Like, why would they take her son? Like, it's any mother. They'll feel bad. Like, why would you take somebody's son? You have a brother. You have it's your nephew. Why would you do that?
Right.
What if that was you, or you know?
Right.
It's just,
So, you know, the purpose of this program, Make
Yeah.
the Call, is that we hope that your story about your brother and your brother-in-law touches somebody who had some information, who knows something, right?
Yeah.
So what do you want to say right now to the person or the people who may be watching this program who have some information, who haven't come forward and talked to this detective?
if you know anything, if you were there, or if you heard something, go to the police. Or if you don't have to go to the police, go to the website or make the phone call to. Just like, don't be scared. You're not gonna be a snitch or anything. Just if you know something, call the police or email them or go to their area where they're at and let them know, because that was my brother. What if that was your brother? And just, we miss him and we love him. We want justice to be served. We want that person to get caught.
Right. And Carla, so what if somebody were to say, well, I know something, but I'm afraid to say anything? What do you say to that person? And then maybe that person's watching the show and they're just afraid.
I'm sure that person has a sister. What if that was your sister? You would want that person to get the justice. What if you lost your sister, your brother, the same way we lost our loving brother? I mean, would you want the same thing to happen to you?
You want that person to get caught.
You want that person to get caught. So, I mean, it's not something bad that they're doing. They're going to get this person to get justice for what he did.
Right. So do you have, are there other family members? Again, I want you, I know your mom's not here, but if she were here, what do you think she would say?
She just wants people to come forward. Don't be afraid. She just want them to, if they know anything, to come go to the police. Like, if they know anything.
There's a lot of people out there. I'm sure there was somebody that knows something. They need to come to either Detective Noir or call the hotline or something if they don't want their name to be brought up.
And they won't be, if they're afraid because their name's going to come up, it's not going to come up. Police want to know what's going on.
That's right, because it can be anonymous.
Yeah, it's
right? You don't even
anonymous.
have to say it. So it's just must be very frustrating for you all. I mean, it's been more than a year.
Yes. And his
And
birthday is on Tuesday.
his birthday
His- yeah.
coming up, and he would have been
22.
and no one has come forward. And that's how crimes get solved, right?
Yes.
And that's how this murder is going to get solved. It really needs somebody to come forward. So I know that it's hard for you, the family members, for you all to talk publicly about Gabriel. So I thank you for coming forward, and hopefully with the help of someone who was watching this program, Gabriel's killer will be brought to justice. So to Jasmine, to Carla, thank you so much for
you.
having the courage to come forward. And we hope that people out there will have the courage to come forward too and solve this crime. And that's what it's about, making the call. 1-888-MURDER-0 or text. That's right, you can now text a tip. You can do it anonymously by texting your information to this number, 650-409-6792.